Welcome back to the Emperor Atheist channel with your host, the Emperor Atheist. A lot of you have probably never heard of Mansa Musa, but if you haven't, then hey, time to research and just review something and learn something. But Mansa Musa, whose birth name was Musa Kiyata the first, who was son of Abu Bakr the second of Mali, Africa, was the richest person ever in the world, African king. Huffington Post, Forbes magazine. This man lived in the 14th century. Became king, I think, around 1321. Made the biggest pilgrimage to Mecca ever. He brought so much gold. He had like thousands, according to history resources. He brought so much gold to Cairo that it caused inflation for like the next 12 to 20 years. So Cairo, it took that long for Cairo to get over the inflation problem that Mansa Musa caused. It is said that if he was here today, Mansa Musa would be worth $400 billion. So this is why I know a lot of you, I'm into finances and the history of money and how it works. And I'm also a Pan-Africanist. So the history of Mansa Musa, I think, has been like swept on the rug. A lot of people never talk about Mansa Musa. You hear people always talking about these Europeans, the Rothschilds, or the Walmarts, or the Bilderberger groups, or Warren Buffett, or Bill Gates, and the brother from Mexico with all the billions of dollars. But none of them, you could put some of them together, and their money wouldn't equate to what Mansa Musa had. Mansa is just a term that he was given when he became king, and it means, some people say it means king, but it doesn't mean king. It's really come from the language of the Malike, which my great-grandmother is actually from Mali, who went through Haiti, and my grandfather was Haitian and came to Florida. But the Malike language actually means king. It actually means emperor or sultan. And this is actually why I use the title emperor, as far as on my name, as far as on my tag. Because emperor, if you ever look up the term emperor, emperor is actually a higher statue than a king. But so in actuality, he would be Emperor Musa. And he was the richest person ever, and he went to Mecca. He was Muslim, and he went to Mecca, came back from pilgrimage, and he was so popular. His fame got out so much that the Europeans of that time, they put his picture of his caravan on what is called the Catalan map. You ever look it up, a researcher to Google it, you see Mansa Musa Catalan map, Catalan map. As a matter of fact, I thumbnailed a picture so you could see, and I also put some links to look up his biography in the end of the video. But the thing about it is that history never speaks about Mansa Musa. And the thing is, why? Why they never speak about Mansa Musa? But they always speak about everything else. It's almost like nothing besides Egypt, and we know that's an ongoing debate forever. No one ever speaks about the black rulers or the ones outside of that particular part of Northeast Africa. So it's a history note to understand that everybody should understand that this particular king of Africa was the richest man ever, even today, even in 2016. So worth $400 billion, and probably more, because he had so much gold in Mali, and his empire was like over 2,000 square miles long. I mean, this dude was serious. We'll read something here about Mansa Musa. This dude here, man, this right here says that, here we go right here. Matter of fact, this Forbes magazine right here, it says that the 14th century emperor from West Africa was worth a staggering $400 billion after adjusting for inflation, as calculated by Celebrity Net Worth. To put that number into perspective, Net worth calculation means Musa fortune far outstrips that of the current world's richest man. At this time, this was printed, Carlos Slim, Helu, and family. That's who I was trying to think of. So according to Forbes, the Mexican telegram giant's net worth is about 69 billion. That's Carlos Slim. Slim edges out the world's second wealthiest man, Bill Gates, who is worth 61 billion according to Forbes. So Mansa Musa, this African king, who history never really talks about, was richer than all these dudes, way richer than all these dudes. Then it says, according to the Encyclopedia Britannica, when Musa died sometime in the 1330s, he left behind an empire filled with palaces and mosques, some of which still stand today, but the empire really turned historic heads for the over-the-top extravagances of his 1324 pilgrimage to Mecca, which I just told you about. But you can keep reading on about this dude and the things he did, and it says, keep going on, it said the poorest man on the list is Warren Buffett, who's like 64 billion. So it's like Mansa Musa, this African king, was far exceeded all of these guys, these rich people today. And I just wanted to share a video about Mansa Musa. There's a lot of other things I could go into. I did a paper on him when I was in college, and it was my first time hearing him. Well, that was back in the early 90s. But I was like, man, nobody never talks about Mansa Musa and Mali and his empire over 2,000. I mean, he annexed all of these cities, Timbuktu. You know, you talk about Timbuktu and Sungay. All of this was his. You know, he ruled all of this. You know what I mean? So, and the thing about it, he wasn't a tyrant. He didn't go around killing people. Even though, like I said, he was Muslim. He didn't try to go forcing people, cutting people's heads off because they didn't want to be Muslim. This is what basically the Pale Arabs were doing. But Mansa Musa was known to be, according to historical references, to be a laid-back. He was a benevolent person. He was a good person. He shared wealth. Like I say, he messed Egypt, but he went to Cairo and gave away so much gold that it caused inflation for the next 15 years. So this is just a little video I wanted to make on Mansa Musa. And I'm going to leave some links below so y'all could do, for those who have never heard of Mansa Musa, 14th century African king of Mali. I'm going to have some links at the bottom of the video so y'all can go check them out. But once again, thanks for sharing my videos, liking my videos. I'm the Emperor Atheist. I'm out. Peace.